There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. It's your boy Ben Wu here, host of CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. And on this lunchtime learning session, we're going to talk about somewhat of a delicate segment. When I say delicate, only delicate because of really weird things happening, obviously, around the world and with chipsets and inventory and all this kind of strangeness. There is one brand that seems quite confident amongst the chaos, and this is Boss Elite. Now, we had the opportunity to speak with Boss Elite, distributed, of course, in Canada by our friends at Gemsen during CMA Industry Week, where we had the chance to take a look at the entire line overview. On this session of Connected, we're going to probably dive a little bit deeper in a couple important SKUs that I think you should be paying attention to, especially in these weird times, and you'll see why very shortly. So, to do so, of course, I'm going to invite my cohort and colleague from Gemsen, Mr. Dave Singh, to join me. Mr. Singh, welcome once again.
Mr. Wu, how are you?
I had a great weekend, Dave. How about you?
You know, the grass is green, the leaves on the trees are out now. It's, life can't be any better.
It's unfortunate that we're living in such strange times and there's so many restrictions and this and that, but you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to look at the good things, right? You mentioned green grass, fresh air. Get outside. That's what I say.
Sit down and take it in. No doubt.
You heard in my intro, Boss Elite coming on today. We've got Jason Hannon, of course, a specialist from Boss Elite that will be joining us. But before we bring him on, would you agree with my statement that, in these weird times in the industry, this could be something that a lot of dealers may have overlooked in the past, but should not overlook anymore?
100%. I mean, I think the list of things that are going haywire right now are countless. Delays in the ports, chip shortages, manufacturers, slowdowns. It seems to be never ending. And unfortunately, it's all at a time where there's a new resurgence in interest of, putting gear in your car or your truck or whatever the case may be. So, not everybody's able to take advantage of putting that full system together. And in a lot of applications, part of that equation is having a source unit before you can sell the amplifiers, before you can sell the speakers. Without that, unfortunately, there's a lot of business that's going by the wayside.
Yeah, it is a gateway to bigger things when it comes to the sound system side of things. But I think this category can be split into two type of customers. And you can, correct me if I'm wrong. We have obviously the audio enhancement enthusiast, mobile, whether that's for power, whatever type of vehicle you may be looking at. But I think there's also this demand from consumers that want, key things like Apple Carplay or Android Auto for safety purposes.
Certainly. I think if you look at most recently, you'd have to have a fairly new car to have the CarPlay or Android Auto features built into it. For example, I mean, the feature's been around for a long time, but you might have to have a 2018 vehicle up to enjoy the features of CarPlay. And to be honest, as a avid CarPlay user, I don't know how anybody can get by without it. I mean, fiddling with your phone and finding a spot for it to sit on the dash so you can use Waze or whatever your favorite navigation system is just cumbersome and dangerous. So, there are a lot of people that are driving vehicles that may not have the latest and greatest. Some of these guys may even have much older vehicles, and they're just looking at ways to stream music right into their radio and get the easiest way of doing so without having to be distracted.
Yeah, so there you go. Demand is certainly there, like you said, in a time where demand has been obviously on the rise, and there's a lot of challenges. So let's clarify what's going on from the Boss Elite side of things. We're going to bring on our special guest today. His name is Jason Hannon. He's been on with us before. We are happy to have him back. What's going on, Jay?
Ben, Dave, how are you? Good to see you both.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. We have engaged you. We have booked your time, your valuable time, so that you could give us some learning on when it comes to Boss Elite. And I'd like to hear your comments on what Dave and I were just conversing about with regards to the two types of customers and the strange times that we're living in right now.
Well, 100%. You guys nailed it. There is some shortages that people are not expecting, and there's also opportunities for people to get into what we love as an industry. And they need that step to get into it, and that's where Elite is for. But like you were talking about, some of the restrictions that you guys are still under and that the world is under has put people sort of introspective. How can I spend my time, and how can I make what I'm able to do better? And so people are looking at ways to go out on the road, do a road trip with their family, have that experience. And when they do those things, having CarPlay in the vehicle, having better sound, those things make the road trip better, make it safer for the family. And Boss Elite delivers that price point that allows people to do that. And the nice part is that's sort of the hook that gets them addicted to great sound and opportunities, and what else can that dealer do for them. And so it's a fun thing to be able to deliver an experience. And that's one of the things we forget as an industry is sound, all that other stuff is secondary to the real thing that's important is an experience. How does this make me feel when I'm in the vehicle? Do I feel safer because I could see the map on a big screen and understand where I'm going? Do I feel that notes, those bass? Do I hear something that I never heard before in that song because the guy tuned the amp right, made sure I had the right sound to it? And that experience is something that really sort of hooks you for life. I've been doing this but you could tell by the gray in my beard and the lack of hair on the top of my head, I've been doing this for a little bit. But I still love that experience, and I chase that. And if we could set that hook now with the captive audience we sort of have, it creates opportunities for a lifetime. That's what's important.
100%. And I know, we're fortunate enough, we have a good 45, 50 minutes that we're going to dive deep on. I know we have a presentation, but I wanted the folks to understand a little bit. We had the chance to learn about Boss Elite a little bit more during Industry Week, like I mentioned. But I really want to frame this for the dealers listening. There are a lot of entry-level, lower price point products out in the market on the interweb, right? Whether it's Amazon or eBay or whatnot. But there's a couple points that I want to drive home. Number one, Boss has been around for a long time, Jay, and I want you to frame that for us so the dealers understand. We're not talking about just another Asian brand, right, that's putting product on the shelf and putting it cheap. This is a brand that's been around from the beginning, knowing what their place is and what they strive to do best. And I want you to speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. The Boss Audio Systems and the Boss International Group has been around for over 30 years. And if you think back over the history of car audio, how many brands have come and gone in that 30 years? What type of support they said they were going to provide, and then they were out of business the next year. But they're really going to stand behind you, but then they're gone the next year. When Boss Audio Systems was introduced, it was introduced by our owner who needed something at a price point because he was selling to that opening price point customer and trying to deliver that experience, and didn't have something at that time. Back in the 80s, there wasn't an amplifier that could be had for under $1 a watt. Honestly, it was about $2 a watt back in the day. So being able to have something to lure that customer in and get them that step that they needed is something that Boss was created for. And the nice part is he hasn't strayed from that path. So it comes from the top down of what we deliver to the customer is the best expectations, an exceptional experience. The product does what it needs to do. It sounds the way it's supposed to sound. It doesn't fail. We have our office in Shenzhen with our full team over there of engineers to make sure to work with the factory. So Tina and QG and Cindy, they all work on that side and work with our engineers on the state side. So we have a huge infrastructure to be able to deliver an opening price point brand. And that's something that, you mentioned some of the Chinese brands that are out there. Our retailers today are not just competing with other brands or other shops on the street. They're competing directly with the factory from China that's putting something on Amazon. And now they're having to compete against a price point that's unbeatable. Well, it's unbeatable because it's unfair, but also the fairness comes from the support side. So that's where we come in, and Gemsen comes in, is being able to say, hey, when you buy this Boss Elite piece, we're going to stand behind it. We're going to deliver the experience that the consumer is looking for, that the dealer needs at the right price point. And so that way, when you install it, let's be real. If you install a price point amplifier, head unit, anything like that, the margins aren't the same as your upper end product. So if that product comes back, if that product doesn't deliver the experience that the consumer is looking for, you've lost almost double the value of what you made when it went in, right? So that's the disappointing part to a lot of dealers and why they try to stay clear from it. Oh, I don't need an opening price point because I need to make sure my margins are here and I need to do this because of my experience level. That's all well and good. But if you don't have something, Ben, you and I have talked about this. If you don't have an opening price point, if you don't have something for that customer today, he will never be your customer in the future. If you walk them today, you're walking them forever. I've had this experience myself, whether it's buying a vehicle on a lot or going into a furniture store or whatever it is. If I have that money today and I go in and the retailer says, go away, kid, you're bothering me. I don't have something for you at that price point. You need to come in at here. I'm not coming back when I have the money at here. I'm going to the person that took care of me when I had the money here, and then I will keep spending money at that same place. So that's important to us. And so as a company, we deliver that product to our distributor partners like Gemsen that then can stand behind it and know that we'll stand behind them and keep delivering. And that's, I think, the other part that we're going to talk about that's super important is we're delivering. So we're having that product available to the market.
If I can just add something there, Jason, I apologize. I'll let you take a glass of water there. Some of the things that you touched upon is some of the things that the dealers are dealing with is also consumers bringing in products that they've bought themselves, right? You mentioned about manufacturers going directly to consumers. I mean, people may not be aware, but the Carplay certification process is a lengthy process. Not everybody has the ability to get that. And unfortunately, what we're seeing is a lot of white box, no name brand of entry level price point products being purchased by consumers. They bring them into retailers for installation. The product may not work as promised, may not work at all. There's no support for getting that product replaced. I mean, if you drop shipped it directly from overseas, it's a lengthy, an expensive ordeal to get it back to that manufacturer. And there's just a big mess of having to deal with any type of serviceability. So what makes Boss Elite enticing is the fact that you have the support. You have tech support people you can deal with. You have the warranty, and you have product that has been certified and tested as per Carplay certification protocols. That's going to work well. But anyways, let's not steal the thunder.
Well, I was going to segue because Jay was on a roll there talking about what the DNA of Boss Elite's all about. But actually, what my question I think viewers want to know is what is Boss Elite? How is that separate from Boss Audio Systems? I think that's a good question to answer.
Well, it has Elite in the name, so that's the biggest part.
Right.
So what makes Boss Elite elite is the ability to deliver great product, protected margins. So stateside, we utilize a company, Track Street, that goes out and enforces MAP pricing. So that way the margins are intact for the dealers. And that's something that's super important, again, because of opening price point brand, you have to be able to have margin in it still to be successful. But the elite part is having all the certifications, having all of the feature sets you need, having 4 ohm or 4 volt out on the 10-inch and 9-inch head units. So we have these great feature sets in our elite mix. And so what we did is we took the best of Boss Audio Systems and put them into Boss Elite, and then we partnered with the right partners like Gemsen that can deliver to consumers and deliver to dealers the right products. So listen, we know, again, we know our role. We know where we fit. And the opportunity for Boss Elite is not just in the head unit or not just in the amp, it's being able to sort of fill in a complete package. So if a consumer is looking for a subwoofer package, but can't quite step to the amp, but needs to have these type of subs, no problem. We got you covered and we'll make it work for the dealer. Same thing on the head unit. You need to have something to deliver today so that way you can hook them forever. We have that. And having that elite product and having that experience means that consumers get what they need now. Dealers have a solution is really what it is. They have a solution to provide opportunities that they wouldn't have prior. Because, again, sometimes you can create a package that didn't exist before to be able to compete with some of the other price points that they're seeing online and seeing on Amazon. Say, listen, I can't do that, but here's what I can do. I can get you this amplifier, this subwoofer, this box, and I can get it installed and I can stand behind it. And they know that we'll stand behind it as well. And that's important, is knowing that we've been there for over 30 years standing behind it, knowing that we have customer support that's there Monday through Saturday. That's something that, opening price point companies don't do. We do.
The very fact that you have an infrastructure and a customer service department, I think, speaks volumes, and I think dealers know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's important to us to make sure that from the consumer, and to be honest, we put consumers first over dealers because that is where the ultimate experience is from. So we're taking customer calls constantly. Good. Make sure that they have what they need to have done. They can reach us at any time. We have people online doing online chats. So we have every part of it covered. And then on the back end support is something for the dealers and for our distributor partners like Gemsen that we deliver, deliverables such as a great graphic arts department, being able to have information available for every product that you have, make sure that you have images. So if the dealers out there need to build together, a sheet on what product they're building a package for a special sale, we have all of those tools available as well. So it's a fun company to be a part of, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to have more fun once we start talking about product. Can we get into the product? How about we put up your presentation? Because I know there's some key pieces in here I'm pretty excited to learn about. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'll let you take it away, Jay.
Okay, well, that's not my car, first of all. Real quickly, what makes us elite and why to partner with us and with Gemsen is because it's the right products at the right price. It's an industry-leading warranty. The warranty is exceptional on it, and I'll let Dave speak to that because he's the one that has to cover it for Canada. But we stand behind our products: 3-year on in-dash, 5-year on amplifier. We have unrivaled customer support. We just talked about. We do have in-house engineering and design. We have a burn-in room that we could burn in up to 168 head units at a time. And we do that so that way we can make sure it works, it delivers what it needs to do, and that it doesn't go bad. We don't use customers' cars as a test bench. And that's something that probably a lot of people don't know about us, that we do have a full listening and auditioning room when we go in and we're testing product and making sure that it sounds the way it needs to sound, it does what it needs to do. And then with the burn-in room, we make sure it lasts. And then we have over 30 years worth of history doing this. So this is not new to us. We know exactly what we're doing.
But right before we jump into that, you did make note of that warranty. Dave, do you want to speak to that warranty for the Canadian customers?
Yeah, we have a warranty. No, we mirror what the United States does with the warranty. So, offering, Boss is a great partner when there's a challenge. Let's say, in the unlikely event something fails, things do break. Boss is great. I mean, we swap it out with a replacement unit, and that minimizes the downtime to the consumer. It's not waiting for parts to show up or, repairs to take place and that sort of thing. So our turnaround time is extremely fast.
Very good. That's great information for dealers to know. All right.
Awesome. So now we go to the fun part. So we go to the exciting part, which is CarPlay Android Auto. This is our 10.1-inch CarPlay Android Auto, Bluetooth, hands-free. This is an amazing looking screen. It's capacitive touch. It does have a volume knob. One of the things when we did all the testing and we kept, we do a lot of testing in-house and making sure what fits, how does it actually work. People love a knob still when you're driving. Being able to crank it up is something that's important. And sometimes using those buttons is a little bit harder. And on a big screen like this, you need to be able to have a quick volume mute. You need to be able to have quick turn up, turn down. But the screen size is phenomenal. But one of the things that we do very well on this is it's a single DIN and it swivels up and down and left and right. So you can actually position it to where you are as a driver and be able to get the best image off of it. So whether you're using maps or Waze or whatever you're using for navigation, you can actually see where you're going. And on a screen size like this, you're turning any car in, it'll make it look like a Tesla when you're driving it, because now you have a giant screen to be able to see all your information on it. It is RGB, so you can change the colors of the buttons to match your vehicle and have it stand out a little bit. But having it be a single DIN, the nice part is you can actually put it into any vehicle now. So it doesn't have to be just a double DIN opening. It can work into a single DIN opening. And we include in the box adapter to be able to fit into a double DIN housing. So people that didn't have a kit, they can just bolt it straight in and it's ready to go. So we make all of the steps really easy for dealers to work with. That's something we're very proud of, is we are dealer focused.
So did you say in the box comes with a double DIN adapter as well?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, for the double DIN chassis adapter. So
yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
DIN, and it comes with that double DIN chassis adapter. You are steering wheel control compatible. It has the capacitive touch, which is the important part. Is the capacitive touch. It feels right. When you're touching the screen, it feels the way an Apple product should feel. It doesn't feel like a cheap screen, because it's not a cheap screen. These are really nice units. It does have USB charging, so it's 1.5 amp charging. So when you plug in, again, the beauty of this is, as a dealer, I'm pitching this not only as CarPlay, Android Auto, because it's cool, but also because it's safer. When it goes into the vehicle, somebody plugs into their phone. Now all the information goes up to the screen, and if they get a text over, it can read them the text, and you can reply by voice, but now you're not being pulled away from the road. You're actually driving and going to do everything by voice, and you can use Siri and be able to connect to it that way. Or you can use OK Google and be able to do it that way. That's important. That's a safety feature that people need to understand. And really, as an industry, I think we need to talk up a little bit more about the opportunities of safety.
I have a couple comments here I'd like to make. Number one, it looks really, really good. I mean, that is the most modern looking screen out there today. It's the latest trend in automobile OEM equipment, right? With that floating type of screen. That'll make any interior really modernized just by installing a unit like this. It's super clean. And we could sit here and talk about the pre-volt out and how much power their amp has, and does it come with DSP or EQs? But at this price point, what that represents right there is a solution for so many situations.
Hey,
exactly.
I have one of those units here, and the picture doesn't do it any justice. I mean,
well, let's show it.
A gigantic, unfortunately, so that's, I have a large head, and this has no problem blocking the view there. Sorry about the glare from the window here.
No worries. If you could show the side, because Jason was mentioning how it pivots. Oh, that's what I want to see. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, so it's rigid. It's not going to, move, like fall down by itself or whatever. You got to put a bit of effort into it. But the nice thing I like about it is the screen can easily be removed. I mean, I'd have to use two hands to do that. But if you're nervous about leaving it behind.
Oh, it comes off?
Yeah, you can pull it off. You got to push both buttons, and now you.
What?
Yeah, so you're detachable.
So for security reasons, you can have peace of mind. You don't have to leave it in your underground parking and worry that somebody is going to.
That's like I'm reliving my childhood with the removable faceplate feels. The only thing is I got to grab this big 10-incher and put them somewhere. Anyhow.
Well, like Dave said, it is rigid. It does take some effort. We wanted it that way. We wanted it taut, so that way when you're driving, it's not flopping around.
That's right.
People have seen, back in the day, there was those big screens that would sort of sit on top of them, and they didn't do what they needed to do. This does what it needs to do. And again, like you talked about, we have to pass all the certification processes. So we have to pass the Apple certification. We have to pass the Google certification. To be able to get this presented. So they have standards that we have to hit, and we hit them all, and we license everything and make sure that way it's serviceable all the way through. Again, whether it's on the Bluetooth license or the Apple or the Google license, it's all licensed, so it's a supported product. This is not an unsupported product, which sometimes that's what opening price points are. We are supported all the way through.
If I can add something real quick to this, a couple of features that we may not have focused a lot on is it also has it has rear camera inputs, and you also have front camera input capability, which is a nice bonus. Having played around with that radio, one of the things I was really impressed with is just even the wiring harness, very well labeled, easy to understand. You don't have to look at a diagram to figure out what kind of wiring, what wires you're dealing with. And, so it is top notch in terms of its build quality, the attention to detail, and, the features that you need to integrate it into, most of the vehicles out there. You've got the CarPlay input, a USB input, and you also have a separate USB as well. So if you wanted to run a thumb drive or something like that, you've got an additional USB for that. So, pretty impressive unit, and it's a very solid unit. You can't tell by me holding it, but I mean, it has got some decent weight behind it, and the picture quality is fantastic. The GUI is quick and fast to respond, and those are the things that you have to worry about if a consumer buys one of these things. He doesn't want a glitchy unit that is going to take a long time every time you press a button for it to do the next thing.
Well, that's one of the feedbacks that we've gotten a lot from dealers that, and to put it on Front Street, a lot of people wouldn't have tried us had not the shortages that have been happened. But people that have tried us, some of the higher end shops out there that have tried us, have been blown away by the response time of the unit, how well it works, that it works actually a lot better than some of the products that they've been selling at a much higher price point. We want to make sure that when people touch it, it has the right feel, but it has to be at the right price point. We don't need to have something that has 15 menus deep to be able to do some minute tweak and tune. We want to put what exactly consumers are looking for on the unit, and then they can decide from there, if they want to step up, then the dealer can walk through with them. This is a way to get them into this category, but into this category in a way that nobody else can, with a gorgeous screen that looks incredible and has the feel and tactile feel that a consumer is looking for.
I only have one question at this point, and I'm sure you guys are intelligent enough to have thought about this, but what is the inventory situation? Because this is obviously a hot ticket item. There's no question about it. What is the inventory situation like, guys?
Dave, you want to take this one?
Yeah, inventory is good. I mean, it's consistently flowing, but there's high demand, so it's not uncommon for stuff to be wiped out, quite quickly. But the good people at Boss, seem to have a decent flow of inventory coming, and the wait times are short if we have to worry about waiting, right?
I have my ear to the industry, as they say. As you know, I talk a lot and I talk to a lot of people, and I'm going to say that there is a serious situation going on with head units or source units in general. So to hear that is music to my ears. It gives people an opportunity to do what they need to do, get some product into customers' cars. So that's really, really nice to hear. Good job.
Well, the nice part is we have partners like Gemsen that took advantage when we do have it in stock and make sure that they keep in loop of what's happening in the market. So they have the 9-inch and the 10-inch in stock. So so we have a 9-inch version available. So they have these in stock and ready for consumers, ready for dealers to help consumers out, especially coming road trips and all that stuff that's going to be happening come summertime. So we're excited. We've also, on the back end, we've been working overtime, securing screens, securing chassis, making sure that we're able to keep up with demand. It has not been easy. Our Tina and the team over in China have been doing an amazing job. We're very thankful that we have that built-in support in our own office over there, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to keep up. But we've been able to, which is great. So the 9s and 10s are in stock. So the 9-inch, the one I'm showing here, the BE9ACP-C, this we're in stock on, and this is, of course, the 9-inch version. So this is really the only difference between the 9 and the 10 is application. So sometimes you can't have a 10. It's almost too big, and some things will cover over air conditioning controls or other things that are needed in the vehicles or vents. So you can have that 9-inch, but still have that great feel. Same thing, single DIN, has the double DIN adapter to it. This one comes with the backup camera. So the dash C indicates that it comes with the backup camera. The backup camera has the lights built into it that turn on when the camera's triggered. So you can actually see in low light visibility. And the nice part is this mounts behind the frame of the license plate. So you're not having sort of a mustache on top of your license plate. It just looks a little bit more high-end, a little bit more finished. And it's adjustable. So if you have a taller vehicle or a shorter vehicle, you can adjust it up and down to be able to show what you need to show. So that for us is important. So we have
we're sorry to cut you off, Jay. We're looking forward to getting this in. We haven't seen it in Canada yet. I believe stock is on the way, but you're 100% right. The 10 is a massive screen, and that that 1 inch does make a difference. You were mentioning you were going to get into the backup camera that this is bundled with, right?
Yes.
So the camera that it comes with is a license plate mount. It's got infrared. Once again, this is about convenience and being economical and budget friendly, and away you go. If you want to step up to something a little bit more discreet and get a custom camera that fits in your car, it's just a composite input. All you need to do is run that other camera right up to the head unit, and it's compatible. So it's not a unique platform that's exclusive to Boss. It's universal cameras. Any camera can be used with it.
No, and you guys have the 9-inch in stock without the camera currently, based off of what Antonio told me. So the nice part, so you got the 9 and 10. And like you said, this has front camera input as well. So now you can see in front and behind you. And you guys sell all types of great solutions for cameras, not just the Boss Elite version. So you can get something specific for a vehicle for this and make it that. Again, this is to build packages off of. And that's the best part about Boss Elite is it creates that opportunity to hit a price point that consumers can afford and sort of flush it out with the other products that they need. We talked about this last time. One of the things that's happening with cars right now is all the adapters and stuff that you need to put it into a vehicle. Consumers sometimes, when they're just getting backed into car audio, they don't realize that sometimes it's going to take a $300 harness to make it work in their vehicle. And that's sort of a sticker shock that a lot of people aren't aware of. So when you start at a price point here for a customer, and they go, oh, well, here's where your radio is, and then we're going to have to do these adapters. That's going to be an additional $500. Well, they may have had $1,000 spend, but they don't anymore. So now you can deliver this Boss Elite, still get this in, and then say, and then when you're ready, we'll bring you up to this level.
Jay, I have to say you bring me back because like the last adapter I bought was I think $17.95 Metro wiring kit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know exactly what you mean when I'm looking at these new harnesses that going to CAN bus and all. I was like, whoa, this thing's like $275 to plug in this in. So, anyways, yep, I totally hear you.
It makes a huge difference. And you listen, it's every vehicle. Even if you have an old Ford, to be able to have the clock still work on them is going to take a harness, right? So those are things that these allow you an opportunity around, sort of to work around some of the issues that come based off of the wiring of modern vehicles. One of the other ones that is really our top seller Gemsen has in stock is the BE7 ACP. The BE7 ACP is our 7-inch. It's a true fit doubled in, so there is no hogging out the kit. It does fit into any kit that you have. And we have to say that because we know over the years people have had experiences with 7 inches where they didn't quite fit the right way. These are a true fit doubled in. These have SD card on the front. You do have dual USBs on it. It's CarPlay, it's Android Auto, and this has a great feel to it. Again, the capacitive touch. But this is the price point that allows you to get into any vehicle, deliver that great experience. And the nice part is the chassis on them now are getting smaller on the back of it. So you actually have room for all that wiring when you go into it. Because it's a mechless unit, you can be able to fit all that wiring in the back of it without having to shove that head unit in the front.
Well, there's a lot of applications. The shallow, it's you need a shallow mount because there just isn't any depth behind there.
Yeah, and this fills that application. but it has that great look, and having that 7-inch screen really, a 7 is still a huge screen. It's sort of weird going from a 10 to a 7, calling it huge, but it's a great screen. It has all the information that you need when you're on there. The microphone sounds great for hands-free. So, and again, but it hits that price point that nobody else can hit. And the most important thing right now is it's available. We have it in stock for you guys. So that's important. Gemsen has this available today. Now, they may not tomorrow. So make sure that's call now, because
it's a great time, Jay. I'm going to go ahead and put up some digits. There you go.
It is, and Gemsen's just done a great job of keeping everybody in the loop of what is available. And as the world has sort of still not quite shaken off all the things that have happened, Ben, you and I talked about one of the things that was a great opportunity that's on the horizon is Ford's going to be delivering a lot of vehicles without infotainment because of the chip shortage. The coolest thing to me is I'm old enough to realize, and this is going to date myself, but cars used to be available with the radio delete option. And back in the day, they had a radio delete option, so that way you didn't have to start with anything. You could actually build it the way you wanted to without having to take anything out and move it around. Well, now these dealers have this option to build out the vehicle they want it to build it, have the sound, have the look, have the fit, have the finish. And so I would highly suggest that the dealers start talking to Ford dealers locally. And because of our warranty having a 3-year on the in-dash product and having a mirror through Gemsen, this now creates an expediter level product to hit a price point for those work trucks that are going to be coming without infotainment. So now you can create a safety opportunity for dealers, for Ford dealers, and be able to help them continually deliver that, because everybody, listen, you're hard pressed to want to go buy a vehicle without CarPlay anymore, right? Now you can go ahead and deliver that to people that don't have it. And for the people that, again, there's a car shortage as well. So for people that want to refresh what they have and have to hold on to their car a little bit longer, they can bring it up to speed now with all the latest feature sets that are out there. So that's the exciting part of what this industry can do. And we always forget to sort of remind people how cool this industry is and what we deliver. What we deliver is an experience. That experience could be anything from what Boss Elite does of CarPlay, Android Audio, amplifiers, subwoofer speakers, but also, those dealers need to be talking about blind spot monitoring. They need to be talking about the safety features of that, and bringing those cars up to today's level would be a huge opportunity for those dealers. So anyways, I digress.
No, but it's very important what you're saying, Jay, because that everything you're saying is supporting why dealers need to take a closer look at what we're presenting right now. There's a need. People are knocking on the door for it, and if you have it in stock, then you'll install it.
Yeah, you're going to sell it. Mm-hmm. One of the other things, so for people that don't want CarPlay, that just want a DVD experience, to be able to have a great sound, great look, we do have the BV755B in stock. Gemsen has this in stock as well. This is a top-selling 6.2-inch double-din, great sound, steering wheel control compatible, USB charging on it, SD. This has all the feature sets that you need on it, auxiliary input, so somebody can just plug straight in if you want to, if you're nice and you're driving down the road, you want somebody else to plug in, no problem. Here you go. You can plug in. But a great price point, comes with a remote, great warranty on it, and available today. There is such a shortage on 6.2-inch screens that somebody having a 6.2-inch screen right now or finding one is next to impossible. So having Gemsen have these in stock is a huge opportunity for dealers to take advantage and fill that need for consumers that they're looking for. Then you go to our 480 BRGB. So the nice part about this is you've got an RGB double DIN unit that's a digital media receiver. It's AM, FM. It looks fantastic, but this fills that, again, going back sort of the expediter side and going to filling that hole for somebody that just needs to be able to stream something to it, wants to be able to have Bluetooth in their vehicle, wants to be able to have hands-free calling. This does everything they need and looks fantastic in the vehicle, has that giant knob so it's easy to turn up and turn down. But it hits that price point and fills that hole that people need right now. And then again, you could build around the system from it without having to be way over the top price point.
An interesting thing that that comes up, and aside from features like CarPlay and all that other type of stuff, I've encountered this a number of times, where you take a modern, iPhone or whatever it is that needs a higher rate of charge, you plug it into a factory USB port, and a lot of times, like, it doesn't have the capability of charging that radio, so you've got to plug it into a separate CLA to charge the phone. But now you've lost the ability to listen to music on the car stereo. So, sometimes switching over the head unit just so you can have the simple functionality of charging your phone is important. We take it for granted. You think you plug it in and away it goes. It starts to charge. I'll tell you. I had a winter beater. I plugged it in, and if it was dead, it might be an hour before I got some usability out of it, and that was all just because the factory OEM radio just didn't have the current capability to charge the phone. So CarPlay is great. DVDs play sometimes is great, I should say, but sometimes you just need to charge your phone, and replacing the source unit is one great way of doing that. And as a bonus, getting all these great features to go with it, such as Bluetooth streaming, USB input, all that other type of stuff.
100%, and that's one of the things. As an industry, we also do a bad job of telling all the cool things we could do, and it is funny because we all take for granted that we understand what Bluetooth streaming is. We take for granted what Bluetooth audio is and hands-free calling. There are still consumers out there that are not aware that you could just take and stream to the car, and you don't have to connect anything. So talking about those things, making sure that they're aware and that you have something available to do it at a price point. And like Dave said, a lot of people have a second car, a beater car, to be able to go. They don't want to spend huge dollars on it, but to be able to have something fill that hole with the right sound, with the right warranty, and with the right backup, that's a huge opportunity.
In Canada, just so you know, most of us have a winter beater.
Winter beater.
Just so you know, it's a thing. Winter beater.
Yeah.
See,
you buy a car for the winter.
Yeah,
that is fantastic. See, I didn't know you guys are big time like that, but that's
no, we're big time. We roll hard with our winter beaters.
Yeah. 1991 Hyundai Sonata. I think
but we'll spend top dollars on our winter tires.
Oh, well, there
no
you go.
matter how crappy the beater is.
You got to stay on the road.
We got to stay on the road, and most of them are older, so single DIN, double DIN applications is perfect.
Awesome. Well, we have solutions for that, from single DIN, double DIN on CD. So there are still people out there that love CD and have to have it. I don't know the last time I personally purchased a CD, but there are people out there that.
I'm sorry, I have to say a story here. So I love the mechless idea. It makes total sense, but I also love the CD slot. Do you know why?
Why?
Not to play CDs, because my favorite phone holder is the one that goes in the CD hole. It's just perfectly positioned on the dash. I would almost pick that just for the phone holder, so I don't have to, because I don't like the ones that go in the vents.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? And it just fits. Sorry, I totally useless comment, but I had to put it in there. Anyways, please, as you were.
Well, then we have 3 different solutions for you.
There you go.
Let's go. So for phone holder solutions, we've got the 660, which is the double DIN. With RGB, so changes different colors. We have the 560. The 560 is the detachable face fusion version. There are still places that you need to make sure to take your faceplate off, otherwise it's a problem. So we have a solution for that. And then we have the 550B, which is our most popular, and that one is in stock with Gemsen right now as well. So that's your single DIN, Bluetooth, built-in hands-free, quick answer to red-green answer disconnect on the faceplate. Just a really nice unit, and just a great unit for people that need something simple, but that's going to work and going to last. So these are all available now. And then if you don't need that phone holder built into it, we have the digital media receiver version.
I love it. Built-in phone holder.
Yeah, so we do have the
480,
480, 460, and 455, and so we still have a detachable face even on a digital media receiver. So there's a huge need for that. We fill that need with these products, and we find on the DMR side that's something that definitely the younger demographic understands, needs, and wants, and they just need something simple that works and hits a price point. Again, this is your step. You have. I say it over and over because and I'll put it this way: a lot of times our dealers are the biggest obstacle to getting consumers in that they have, because they have an ego that says, I can only sell this at this price and I can only deliver this, and that's what's worth my time. The reality is if you're walking somebody that needs just a single DIN digital media receiver and you don't have a solution for them at a price point and something that'll stand, a company that will stand behind that price point, what you're doing is forcing them to either go online, buy something else there, or you're forcing them to a dealer across the street, or you're forcing them out of the industry. You're not going to prove a point to them. You're not going to tell them, oh, no, you have to come back when you have $200 to spend. That's not going to happen.
I'm going to comment here, Dave, and I want to hear what you have to say about what I'm about to say. A pure car audio shop, man, that is few and far between. To survive and thrive in today's mobile electronics industry, you need to be multifaceted. You need to have, yes, mobile audio. But then what about categories like, the lighting, the sound, the security, the starters? Most shops who are doing well, in some provinces, radar detection.
Sure.
You are the 12-volt solution specialist, right?
Absolutely.
So to Jason's point, and this is what I want you to comment on, Dave. If you're losing a customer for the first time walking into your shop because, it's their son, they're 17 years old, it's their first car, they just want to make sure he has Bluetooth, so he's hands-free and he's talking on the phone, and you said no to that, well, they're going to go somewhere else to find it. And if that place they go to also has the other services, which chances are they do, you just lost that customer. Because when it comes time to put a security or a remote starter on that car, or maybe some ADAS stuff, or maybe they want to enhance their lighting because winter's coming and they live in the country, whatever the reason is, to Jason's point, I think that's very relevant what he's saying. Dave.
Well, there's all kinds of figures out there of what it costs to get a customer to walk in your door. And, getting some nowadays with the lockdowns, you're not getting anybody walking in. But once that gets back to normal, and, getting somebody to walk through your door, whether you're Google advertising, whether it's word of mouth, whatever it is, Facebook, is a challenge. And yes, you want to take advantage of every single sale you can get. Yes, you certainly want to sell any additional opportunities, whether it be a dash cam, whether it be security, as you mentioned, it could be, radar detection, that sort of stuff. Some shops even go, beyond that, and they're doing full packages where, rims, tires, if you got a truck, a lift kit, and the whole deal. So, a simple radio could open up a huge opportunity for big purchase buys. There's one thing I want to kind of summarize, because we've been beating this horse to death, in the sense of using the product, it being reliable, it being in stock. Look, we do have stock. I was at Gemsen the other day, and I was blown away by the amount of pallets we have of Boss Audio, which is great news. One of the things that I do sometimes hear from certain dealers is they may not be willing to take a chance because 30 years ago, they played with something, they didn't have a positive experience, and now they associate that experience with, Boss of today. And to that, I tell them, that was 30 years ago. Whatever happened 30 years ago, I mean, things change, technology gets better. Everybody, Boss has been around for this much longer. They're doing something right. They definitely aren't declining in their quality control. They're not declining on the quality of the product that they're putting out there. So the product is rock solid. The product is shippable, available, and the other side of things is, I encourage anybody, and in fact, I challenge people, try a unit. If you don't like it and you say this is junk, which I know you won't, send it back to us. We'll give you your money back. It's that simple. So, let's call it Take the Boss Challenge.
Hashtag Boss Challenge. That just happened.
Yeah. Buy a double DIN, try it out. And if you don't like it, send it back. I'll tell you a quick story, because we were chatting with the dealer the other day. We offered him that challenge. He put it up on the board, and he called us and he spoke to my rep. He goes, Andy, 4 minutes. 4 minutes is all it lasted. And we're like, oh no, what happened? It took 4 minutes for a guy to walk in the shop and buy that unit off the board. Okay? So he bought another 6 right after that. I mean, where can what have you got to lose other than 10 minutes of installing it on your board, trying it out, and if you don't like it, send it back to us. We're happy to do that. We believe that strongly in the product. We believe that you guys are going to have nothing but positive experiences. So let's put to bed, this, I'm not sure. I'm not, I don't want my customers to be guinea pigs or whatever. Bring a unit in. You got nothing to lose. Try it out.
I think that's a great. Thank you, Dave, for doing that and offering that. And the nice part is, we'll stand behind it as well. I often look at like Hyundai and Kia. When they were first introduced into the States, they may not have been the best vehicles of what they did, but they tried their best. But they grew and they learned. And what they finally realized is if they offer the opportunity and support back to the dealers and to the consumers and that warranty, and now the product that they deliver is on par or better, but at the right price point for consumers. And so if you look at Kia, Telluride is the best-selling SUV in the U.S.
Yeah, I am such a sucker for that exact analogy. I swore up and down, I'm a tuner guy at heart, that I would never, I repeat, never, run a Korean whip. Guess what we're driving? We're driving a Kia Soul Electric, and I freaking love it because it's so refined, and it's just, I never thought I'd say it, but they're there. And yeah, so I totally hear what you're saying. All right, guys, we got only a few minutes left. I know there's another slide or two we want to get through real quick.
I'm going to burn through a couple of these. And so, we've got the speakers in stock with LED, without LED, amplifiers. We've got amplifiers from mini amplifiers to regular size amplifiers from 4,000 watts to a 5-channel 2500. We've got woofers 10-inch, 8, 10, 12. Again, build those steps where you need them. Amplified enclosures, underseat enclosures. But one of the things we want to call out that Gemsen has in stock is sound bars. We also do power sports, and that's something that we do exceptionally well in. These sound bars are our tuck and ride sound bars. So they have the 34-inch in stock. This tucks up into a roll bar, so it actually saves you about 2 inches of visibility because it gets tucked up into the roll bar, connects onto there, includes all the mounts that you need, has a wired remote. So now with a pigtail out for a 3.5 inch, so it's Bluetooth, it's amplified. It also has a dome light built into the unit, so you can actually see when you drop your keys at night, you can actually see where you drop them. This thing sounds incredible. If you A/B this against anybody's soundbar, it'll blow you away. It has DSP built into it as well. So you don't have to, a lot of soundbars sound really good if you listen to this type of music. That works great if you listen to this type of music. But if you're like me, depending on how long the ride is and who you're with, you're going to change your music. Well, if you change your music, this will actually change it with you because you can change the DSP and you can go from a rock setting, you can go to a pop setting, you go to a rap setting. Heck, you just got a talk radio setting to be able to have the right sound for what you're doing. And these are just a fantastic sound. When you pick these up, these are a big metal solid unit. These feel the way they're supposed to feel because they have the digital amp, the Class D amp built into them. Again, the wired remote puts the controls right where you need them. So you're not having to drive and try to fiddle with something up there. If you guys are out there on the trails, you know that you're bouncing, and being able to do this sometimes is impossible. So you can actually control it from the dash. It's got a big mute button on the bar itself. That's for your passengers. So that way, if they need to stop and talk to you, they can hit it as they're going too. So we've thought all of these things through. So this is available now, and we do great in this. And really, that just sort of ties us back into why partner with Boss Elite. It's the right products, right prices. It's an unbeatable warranty. It's unrivaled by anybody else in the industry. It's map pricing on the state side that helps get you the profit margin that you need on the Canadian side. The customer support that's bilingual, English and Spanish. In-house engineering and design. And we've been doing it for 30 years, and we have only grown every year. Exponential growth, and we've grown because of great partners like Dave at Gemsen. We've grown because of great partners like on our retail side and our Mesa dealers. But we've grown because we're doing the right things in the market, and we stay there and we stand behind what we do.
Man, I could only suspect that you should have some signups for that Boss Challenge. And if you guys missed it, Dave issued, he challenged you Canadian dealers out there. If you thought about it, you've been hesitant about it, whatever, you've got some history, whatever it may be, that new Boss product, reach out to Gemsen. I'm going to put up the digits one more time. Right there. Reach out to Gemsen, say Dave sent you, and that you're ready to take the Boss Challenge. You're going to take one of those, double din or single dins, put them in your board. And apparently they sell in 4 minutes, according to Dave. That's what I heard. Did you hear that, Jay? That's what I heard.
I heard that.
In all seriousness, though, thank you so much, Jay, for coming on and really sharing with us the Boss Elite culture, right, and everything it's about. A great opportunity for Canadian dealers to get in on the brand, work with Gemsen, get it out there, and to make some money, because I think that's what we're here for, right?
100%. And Ben, thank you for doing this for the industry. This is something really
I got nothing better to do.
Oh, listen, it's nice to have some love and some information tools back for the dealers and for this industry to help us grow. So thank you for what you're doing.
I appreciate it. Thank you for being on. And when Boss Elite comes up with new stuff, make sure you contact Dave. We set you up and we show off your stuff. That's what we do.
Awesome. We appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for being on, Jason.
Thanks, Jay.
Take care.
So there you have it, Dave. Hope you're ready to back that up.
Well, I don't know what, we must have talked about stock being available no less than 50 times.
Stock's available. Okay, stock's available.
Support, all that
support's incredible.
Right? I love the example that you used about Hyundai and Kia, because it made me think of, I think the biggest hurdle that we have is just people willing to try. And, could have been a previous experience, could have been, a perception from a long time ago. But your Hyundai and Kia story was perfect.
Dude, my first car was a Hyundai Pony manual. That's how I learned how to drive stick. I beat the, out of it.
Dude, my mom bought in 1985, brand new Hyundai Stellar. You had to pull a choke to start it up in the morning. What a piece of crap!
That car was. Yeah,
but I would gladly drive any Hyundai that they have out on the road right now.
Dude, have you seen the Color Road? Have you seen the Palisade? Like, what is going on?
They're awesome. So you can't judge, something, that you may have played around with a long time ago and say that it's the same today.
Listen,
things get better.
My last thing about this Korean car thing, I have to get it. Like, we want an electric vehicle. We want to be environmentally friendly. We moved out to an area that, we're fortunate enough to be using solar power to generate a lot of the needs that we need at home. So I said electric car would be great, right? Because we're already generating the power. I looked at a Tesla. Are you kidding me? I'm a webcast host. I ain't never getting a Tesla. It's not going to happen. But the Kia came about with a much more interesting price point. It gets me almost 300 kilometers on a charge. And the finishing is insane. I can't even, I can't put a Boss Elite radio into it because it's got like a 22-inch widescreen built into that, which is cool, right? Yeah. But I would never, if you ask me this, young Ben Wu, tuner day, never put money down. Never would I drive a Korean. Here I am.
Well, I know you want to close this. I know you want to close this up because, we definitely went to the maximum time allowed, but, let's just end it by saying this. Unbeatable warranty, the fact that we have stock available, Boss is consistently coming out with new models and that sort of stuff. I mean, they're always developing new products. So there's a selection. Try it out and take the Boss Challenge.
Hashtag Boss Challenge. Dave Singh said it.
Hashtag
Thanks, Dave.
Boss Challenge. Take care, Ben.
Take care. There you have it. Hashtag Boss Challenge issued by Dave Singh from Gemsen on behalf of Boss Elite Products. That was a really cool one. I was like, you know what? It's a solution. Check it out. Try it. You get your money back. That's what Dave said. I'm going to hold him to it. I'm sure you guys will too. Thanks for tuning in to another great session here of CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. Of course, tune in every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays for CMA Connected, your lunchtime learning session. We also got a CMA Live coming to you this Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, where it's all going to be about Jeeps and trucks. We got 5 awesome brands on board. Make sure you tune in for that. On that note, I'm Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.